China is getting ready for a big travel surge during the Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day holiday. The National Immigration Administration predicts 3 times the number of travelers compared to last year. Sun Tianyan has more.
China's Transport Ministry says domestic travel is expected to surge during the upcoming Mid-Autumn Festival and National Day holidays. The ministry expects 2 billion domestic trips to be made over the 8-day period starting September 29th. About 60% of the trips are bound for major tourist cities. That's an average of almost 260 million trips daily and would represent an increase of over 11% compared to pre-pandemic levels in 2019 and close to 60% more than the same period last year. Commercial trips, including rail travel and flights, have all rebounded. The ministry estimates 490 million commercial trips will be made during the holidays. Although that would be lower than during the same period in 2019, it still be around 80% higher than in 2022. I've just returned from another business trip, and I can tell you that the train station was already packed. From what we've seen on social media, many are eager to go home even ahead of the holidays, especially those working away from home. Tickets from Beijing to other major cities were all sold out days before the holidays. The ministry says it's observed that many travelers are visiting Hangzhou for the Asian Games. The number of road trips during the holiday is also expected to reach a historic high, especially when it comes to long-distance road trips across provinces. Sun Tianyuan, CGTN, Beijing.
All right, for more on the surge of travelers during the Mid-Autumn Festival, we're joined by Qu Qiang. He's the Assistant Director of the International Monetary Institute. Good to see you and welcome to the show again. Well,
Phil.
Should we get ready for this huge surge? I mean, we just reported it's going to be 3 times what it was last year. And if you recall, last year, of course, we had the restrictions. This year, everyone can, I guess, do whatever they want.
Well, first of all, happy Mid-Autumn Day. And also, I can guarantee you it's more than the data can tell you. Well, a lot of people are saying, well, last year can be still in the pandemic for China. So 3 times of the number probably would not be that impressive, but I can guarantee you if you were here in 2019, and I can see the traffic data and the hospitality industry data will be more than even that by 1.5 times or even 2 times. Right now, if you walk around the major cities and a major tourism resort, you will find out there are people mountain. People see, this is Chinese saying, describing you can barely shoulder through your way through the crowds. And also not only in the major cities, but if you travel around some far away cities, people thought they can just try to avoid a big crowd by going to some remote areas with a beautiful view. But when they get there, they find everybody gets a similar idea. And if you check out on the website about the air ticket and train ticket and also the hotels, and even we're talking not only about the Shangri-Las or some big hotels, but even the chain hotels, even the motels, everywhere are packed. And the prices is very high.
You know, one problem that we had over here when people started traveling again was, you know, airline prices were high, hotel prices were high, and of course demand is high, so they can raise prices. But what we saw was they were raising prices, you know, as high as they possibly could, and I get that, and I don't know if you have a very similar sort of capitalistic view over there that these companies want to make back what they lost over the last couple of years.
Well, for one reason, it is true they want just to make up for the lost days, but also there's a more realistic reason for that is because of the 3 years of pandemic, many of the small suppliers, what we call the SMEs, which can provide the Airbnb type of services, they quit the market. So right now, basically, we're relying on the remained players in the market that actually shorten the supply. So that's a reason for the price rise in the current days.
Do you think, you know, a week or 2 from now, when we get the final data from all this, it's going to show that consumers are strong in China? Some people are very concerned, obviously, about this economic rebound, but perhaps this could be a very big inflection point and we would have data to prove it.
Well, I'm very confident for the consumption and hospitality industry. This is going to be actually, it's not only a rebound, it's going to be overheating more than 3 years ago even. And I think the current situation about the worries actually happens with the real estate market, which is still not within our expectation. The confidence is still weak. And also for the manufacturing sector, actually, you see the export can be a problem because the international demand remain to be, suspicious. Somewhere are strong, somewhere are not strong. In China itself can be stable. So I think if you take a look at the certain sectors of China, it's going to be very strong. But the others, well, you were going to see in the different categories. But basically, we're going to see in the second half of the year, especially in the Q3 and Q4, the rebound of the whole GDP can be promised.
Obviously, people are traveling domestically, but they're also traveling internationally as well. Where are the sort of top destinations, and where is everyone going?
Well, international tourism actually has been seeing the very sharp rally in the Q3, especially in this long holiday. If you go to Beijing and Shanghai airport, you find that most of the people are going to Korea, Thailand, and Japan, since they really, to a very large extent, loosened their policy on the visa. As for example, Thailand, they don't require visa at all right now for China for at least half a year. Japan, they lose the requirement on the visa, for example, on the property requirement or something for at least also half a year. So we're seeing like more than millions of people are flooding into those destinies, as well as the traditional destinies like Dubai and some other ASEAN nations.
Yeah, yeah, and help our sort of audience. I'm familiar with the Golden Week, but when does it start? When's everybody leaving, and when does everybody come back? Is this a 5-day, 7-day, 9-day vacation?
Oh yes, in China we have this national holiday for 7 days usually, but this year actually is very special because the Mid-Autumn Day are actually next to our national holiday, so which makes for 8 days. And also in China we have this yearly rest or yearly day off systems. So a lot of people will just readjust their day off plans. So they were going to put 3 days or other 4 days of the plan. Resting plans together with this long vacation, so which they can just make it for like 10 days or even 2 weeks of the rest days, so they can afford to go to some long distance traveling and or to stay longer with their family.
Yeah, well, look, we look forward to welcoming you here in Washington. I guess happy Mid-Autumn Festival and a happy National Day to you.
Well, you too.
All right.